Why do good girls like bad boys? This is one of the most frustrating parts of the female psyche. Hi friends, so today we are here talking about why good girls love bad boys, and along the way I'm going to throw in some awesome romance book recommendations. So be sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell to see future book recommendations like this, and also check out the comment box so that you will get a link to each of the stories. So why do good girls like bad boys? This is one of the most frustrating parts of the female psyche, because you go into your love life and you know the good guy that you should date, the one who has a 401k and goals and dreams for his life and drives, like a very attractive sedan that has a great safety rating and is nice and clean on the inside and smells like pine trees, right? This is the guy that you need to marry. But for whatever reason, us women, most women, have this innate urge and desire for guys who drive the motorcycle that has a terrible safety rating. It's basically a death trap on two wheels and you're going 70 miles an hour around vehicles that actually have seatbelts. But for whatever reason, that is hot. And then you like the guy in the leather jacket and kind of the scruffy grungy beard and the eyes that just say danger, and this is the guy that we want to read about. It's cool, the 401k, that's real life, that's what the smart girls are gonna do. But in romance novels and sometimes in real life, we go for these guys that are just completely off limits, completely bad to the bone, and we love it. The first thing is that bad boys let us adventure, especially in fiction. So the book that comes to mind is Rule Number 5, You Can't Trust the Bad Boy by Anne-Marie Meyer, and this is a sweet young adult romance. And in this book, you have an heiress who's always lived this life that's been perfectly laid out by her parents, and then there's this bad boy who has a motorcycle and he takes her away for the weekend on an adventure, and we get to go along on this. And then somewhere in the adventure, the stakes get higher and higher, and you realize that there's more to the bad boy than the leather jacket. And that adventure is incredible. And I think even in real life, if we're dating a bad boy, we want to do something that we've never done before. We want to see something that we've never seen before, and bad boys always promise that. The cool thing though about bad boys in fiction is that you get all of the danger with none of the risks. And this is especially apparent in my book, Sincerely Enemies. And in this story, the bad boy takes over the school advice column anonymously. And this girl who's completely perfect, and her dad's running for governor, and the stakes are super high for her and who she spends time with and associates with. She writes into this advice column not knowing that it's the bad boy. And so she is even kind of looking for some of that without knowing it and without wanting to take on the risk with it. And so when it comes to reality and she learns who she's actually writing to, it makes that climax that much better. Am I allowed to say climax in a video about romance novels? The next thing is that fear is a little bit sexy. In my book, Curvy Girls Can't Date Bad Boys, we have this girl, Zara, who is the embodiment of a confident, body positive woman. She's curvy and she knows it and she loves it. And she meets Ronan, who is just completely hot. And the only thing that makes it hotter is hopping onto the back of his motorcycle and driving away who knows where. Let's just face it, these bad boys are hot. There's this book by M.L. Collins called Good Girl, Bad Boy, and she has a bad boy who not only is a bad boy, but he also plays a guitar. And I'm like, if you wanted to take the bad boy up a notch, guitar does it. This is maybe the worst part about the bad boy trope, is that we want to save them. There's this eternal female fantasy where there's this guy who's kind of wounded and dark and makes all the wrong choices, but we have this deep desire to fix him and to help him live up to his potential. This is the fantasy. We want to help guys be the best they can be, and there's not so much wrong with that other than the fact that it's just not possible. A guy's gonna decide to change on his own, or he's not. That's But there is an amazing book that completely fulfills this fantasy called Perfect Chemistry by Simona Kellis. In this story, you have like the perfect good girl from one side of Chicago where the book is set, and she, you know, has well-to-do parents, and she has great friends, and she drives a convertible, and life is great. And then there's the other guy who is in a gang. He has been in this, his dad died of gang violence, and they come together, and it's a super tumultuous, emotional book. And at the end, his love for her and ultimately his love for himself gets him out of the gang. And it is the most amazing, invigorating, like hope-inducing thing. One of the most hope-inducing things that I've read in fiction. It's completely amazing. Lastly, I think that we would all like to have the bad boys save us. We want them to save us from ourselves, from the life of shoulds that we always follow, the life of shoulds that we live up to our parents' expectation and our friends' expectation and society's expectation. And these guys completely disregard all of that and live life on their own terms. And I think that we want some of that for ourselves. The book that comes to mind on this one is #Hate That Boy by Yesenia Vargas. It's a really great one by an author of color with characters of color. In this book we have, you know, kind of again the perfect girl, rich parents. Obviously her life is not as perfect as it seems on the surface. And then we have the boy who appears to be a bad boy but actually has kind of a harsh background and upbringing. And this boy helps her overcome kind of what she's going through, you know, the perfectionistic streak that she has that has her always putting on makeup and doing her hair perfectly and putting up this front for everyone. And he helps her become more of herself. He helps her own up to who she really wants to be, not just by herself but also in relationship with her family. He helps her be less of the things that she doesn't want to be. He helps her be more comfortable in her skin, you know, less perfectionistic, less stressed over all of these like expectations coming from outside of herself. I think that is a really wonderful part of loving bad boys. If you check out the link in my bio, you will find a blog with a list of young adult bad boy romance books, and I think that you will love every single one of them on there. There's one for people who like, you know, squeaky clean YA romance, those who want it on a little on the steamier side, and those who are looking for more diversity like Yesenia's books. And so I think that there is going to be something there for every type of reader out there. You're definitely going to find one that you love. I also have a link to a free excerpt of my book Curvy Girls Can't Date Bad Boys, which of course you don't want to miss, but it's linked below so that you can check it out. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more book recommendations from me, and I can't wait to chat with you more about bad boy romances and all other tropes. Bye!